In this video, we're going to look at how to work out the range of a rational function. So the range, remember, is the y values that we can have. So let's take this example here. Y equals x squared minus x minus 2 over x minus 3. Well, we actually looked at this very function in the previous video. And here is a slightly messy sketch of it. So you can see that this function has this gap here. So it's going to exist for y values above a certain point and below a certain point. Now we could just use differentiation here. We could use the quotient rule, find stationary points, combine that with a sketch and figure out that y has to be above whatever our minimum point is here and below our max point here. That's quite a lot of work. I'm going to show you a really clever method for doing this without the need for a sketch or differentiation. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by multiplying this out. And I'm actually going to fully multiply out. So y times x is xy, then minus 3y equals, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to form a full quadratic in x where some of my coefficients are y. So getting everything over onto one side, I've got x squared. Now I've got minus x and minus xy. Then I've got minus 2 and I've got plus 3y. Grouping this really clearly into the x squares, the x's and the constants, which aren't really constants in this case, I've got x squared plus, how many x's? It's minus 1 minus y. That's how many x's I've got, plus, and then it's 3y minus 2. So here is a quadratic in x. What I can use now is the discriminant, because if I want to know where does this exist, what I'm saying is, where are there solutions to this equation? If there are solutions to this equation, it means there is a y value for the given x value. So what I want is I want my b squared minus 4ac to be positive. It actually could be greater than or equal to 0 here because a repeated root is still the existence of a solution. So this is my a, it's just 1, my b is minus 1 minus y, and my c is 3y minus 2. So let's solve that. B squared is minus 1 minus y, and all of that squared, minus 4 times 1 times c. And what we're getting here is a quadratic inequality in y. If I solve this, it will tell me which y values can actually exist. Expanding this, I get y squared plus 2y plus 1, then minus 12y, and then plus 8. Simplifying, we have y squared minus 10y plus 9 is greater than or equal to 0. Right, solving that however you like, well, it's y minus 1, y minus 9 is greater than or equal to 0. Now, if you give yourself, maybe you just know how to do these, maybe you've got your calculator to do it. Imagine a quadratic in y. So it's like y values on here. We've got 1 here, 9 here. When is it greater than 0? Well, it's y is less than or equal to 1, and it's y greater than or equal to 9. And this is the range of the function. So these are the possible y values. Flip back to the previous sketch. Essentially what we've just discovered is that the maximum point there is y equals 1 and the minimum point there is y equals 9, and we did it without the need for differentiation. So to summarize, this very clever technique involves multiplying out, forming a quadratic in x where the coefficients are functions of y, then insisting that the discriminant is positive, or at least greater than or equal to 0, because those are the values in which there is a y value for the given x value. It's like a solution to this quadratic. That will give you a quadratic or some kind of equation in y, and then you can solve that inequality. All right, let's look at some other cases just to practice. But oh, by the way, the question could say sort of find the range of values of y for which the function does not exist. And if that was the case, you'd just be setting your discriminant less than 0. Okay, let's try this one. So harder, but same kind of thing. Notice this one will be a real pain to sketch and potentially quite fiddly. Multiplying this out, we have 3x squared y minus xy plus 2y equals 4x squared minus 3x plus 2. Let's get everything over onto one side. So that's 4x squared minus 3x squared y minus 3x plus xy plus 2 minus 2y. Now let's get it crystal clear into our ax squared plus bx plus c. So how many x squares? It's 4 minus 3y of them. That's how many x squares we've got. How many x's? It's y of them minus 3 of them. What's the constant? It's not really a constant term, but the plus c at the end, it's 2 minus 2y. So let's find the range where this function does exist. So just the range of the functions. We're going to take b squared minus 4ac to be greater than or equal to 0. So b squared is y minus 3 squared minus 4 times a times c. And we'd like all of that to be greater than or equal to 0. I've got another quadratic inequality now in y. Y squared minus 6y plus 9. Let's take this one in 2 steps. So minus 4, what have we got? It's 6y squared minus 6y minus 8y, so minus 14y, then it's plus 8. Expanding all of that out, y squared minus 6y plus 9 minus 24y squared, minus minus, so plus 14 times 4 is 56, plus 56y, and then minus 32. Finally, getting all of that together, we've got minus 25y squared, then that looks like plus 50y, and then 9 minus 32 is 23, minus 23 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, neating all that up, we've got minus 23y squared. Then what is that? That's plus 50y and then minus 23. I'm not going to waste any time trying to factorize that nicely. I'm going to go straight to my calculator, find the critical values of that. When I do that, and I guess I'll keep them in exact form for now, but it ain't pretty. It's 25 plus or minus 4 root 6 over 23, or in kind of more normal terms, it's 0.661 and 1.513. So we had a negative quadratic in y that needed to be greater than 0. So negative quadratic, so here's 0.6, here's 1.5, negative quadratic greater than 0, so it's going to be between these 2 points. So the answer in exact terms is at 25 minus 4 root 6 over 23 needs to be less than or equal to y, which should be less than or equal to 25 plus 4 root 6 over 23. And so that is the range of this function. No need for differentiation, which would have been really hard here, would have been a real mess solving cubics and all sorts. And yeah, it's that clever technique of just forming a discriminant in y. Let's just take a little peek at what this graph actually looks like to see if it makes sense. So here I've plotted it in GeoGebra, and you can see it's a pretty subtle curve actually. It's basically got that big horizontal asymptote at 4/3 and just goes up there, down there and back. And so yeah, it only exists between these 2 points. And I found the y values of those, and they are indeed 0.66 and 1.51. And so that makes sense. The function only exists in that small little range there. So when a question asks you to find the range of a rational function, do feel free to use this technique rather than quotient rules and graphs, which can take much, much longer. It's also great if you want to know where a function doesn't exist, because all we need to do is say it's like it's not in these regions. It's simply if y is less than this or greater than this. Okay, that's all on the range of a rational function. See you in the next video.